Tonight, if your dog ignores its own bed and climbs toward you, your first thought may be simple: it loves me. And maybe it does. But here is the clue most owners miss. Where your dog sleeps matters less than whether its body can actually rest there. So tonight, do not ask only, does my dog want to be close? Ask this instead: is the body soft? Is the breathing steady? Can my dog move away without panic? Because a relaxed dog may sleep near you, shift positions, breathe slowly, and settle again when you move. But a stressed dog may press against you like it has to touch you to feel safe. It may wake the second you turn. It may follow your breathing, your blanket, your footsteps. From the outside, both situations can look like closeness, but only one is true rest. And that is why sleeping beside you is not automatically a sign of love alone. Sometimes it is trust. Sometimes it is stress wearing the shape of affection. So tonight, try one small thing. Place a soft sleeping spot near your bed, close enough that your dog can hear you, separate enough that it can choose a little distance. Then let your dog choose, beside you, beside the bed, or in its own bed. Do not pull it up. Do not push it down. Just watch what its body does when no one is forcing closeness. Because where your dog sleeps can tell you something, but how your dog sleeps tells you much more. Sleep is one of the most vulnerable moments in an animal's day. A sleeping body cannot run quickly. It cannot watch every sound. It cannot control the room around it. So when your dog chooses a sleeping place, it is not only choosing comfort, it is choosing the place where its nervous system feels safe enough to let go. And if that place suddenly changes, the meaning is not always simple. It may not be a new preference. It may be the first small signal that something in your dog's comfort, confidence, routine, or body has changed. Science does not say that every dog who sleeps beside its owner is confessing love in the human sense. That would be too simple. But science does give us something more grounded. Dogs and humans can share a measurable social bond, strong enough to influence how safe both may feel around each other. In 2015, a research team at Azabu University in Japan published a study in Science showing that when dogs gazed at their owners for longer periods, the owner's oxytocin levels rose. Those owners then tended to interact more affectionately with their dogs, and that interaction also raised the dog's oxytocin levels. The same pattern was not found in human-raised wolves in the same way. That matters because dogs do not simply live near humans. Over thousands of years, many dogs have become unusually sensitive to our presence, our routines, our voices, and our emotional signals. Sleep is where that bond can become visible. Not as a perfect love test, not as proof that every bed habit means the same thing, but as a quiet window into whether your dog feels safe enough to rest near you. A 2017 Mayo Clinic study followed adults and their dogs across several nights and found that having a dog in the bedroom could still be compatible with good sleep efficiency. But the dog's location mattered. Dogs sleeping on the bed disturbed sleep more than dogs sleeping in the same room but off the bed. So this is not advice that every dog should sleep on your bed, and it is not advice that every dog should be kept off it. The better question is quieter than that. Does your dog sleep near you because it feels safe enough to relax, or because it cannot calm down anywhere else? A more recent study from the University of Jyväskylä in Finland found evidence that a dog's physiological state and its owner's physiological state can be linked during interaction. In that context, heart rate variability can offer clues about relaxation, arousal, and recovery. This does not prove that your heart and your dog's heart synchronize all night. It does not mean your bed is magically calming. But it supports one important idea. Dogs and humans can influence each other's state of calm. That is why this channel exists, to help you understand what your dog cannot say out loud, with real science, but in a way that never makes you feel like a bad owner. If you want to understand your dog a little more deeply, stay with us. Because when your dog chooses to lie near you during the most vulnerable part of its day, the deeper question is not only, does it love me? The deeper question is, beside me, does it feel safe enough to relax? If you have ever found yourself lying completely still because you were afraid to wake the dog sleeping against your feet, you are not strange. You know your back is getting stiff. You know the blanket has been pulled to one side. You know that if your dog shifts position in the middle of the night, you may wake up too. But then you look down and see it curled up, breathing evenly, as if this exact place is safe enough for the whole world to disappear for a while. And somehow, you cannot bring yourself to move it. That is not weakness, not indulgence, not spoiling your dog. It is a moment many dog owners understand without needing anyone to explain it. A small, living being has placed the most vulnerable part of itself near you. But because you love your dog this much, there is one gentle trap you can fall into. You may assume that as long as your dog sleeps beside you, everything is fine. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it really is a beautiful sign of trust. But closeness can have two very different meanings. A dog can sleep near you because it trusts you. A dog can also press against you because it does not know how to settle anywhere else. From the outside, those two states can look almost the same. That small difference is where a good owner learns to listen. On the outside, the behavior looks simple. Your dog steps onto the bed, turns in a small circle, curls up, and falls asleep. But if you look closely, it is not just a sleeping position. It is a choice made by the body. Dogs do not choose a sleeping place with logic the way humans do. They choose with their senses. Where it is warm enough, where the smell is familiar, where there is less noise, where they can hear movement in the house without having to stay tense and on guard. For many dogs, that place is not the middle of the bed. It is the small space near your feet. Not so close that they feel trapped, not so far that they lose track of you, just close enough. Close enough to hear your breathing, close enough to smell you, close enough for your presence to become part of the safety cues around them. This is the part many people miss. Your dog's bed may be softer. Its own corner may be quieter. But those places may not carry the chain of signals your dog's body has learned across hundreds of evenings. The sound of you brushing your teeth, the lights going down, the familiar smell of the blanket, your breathing slowing, the small movement of you pulling the covers up. For a dog, those repeated details are not just routine, they can become signals of safety. But the important clue is not only where your dog starts the night. It is what happens when that closeness is interrupted. If your dog is sleeping near you from trust, its body usually looks soft. It can change positions. It can breathe evenly. It may sleep close to you tonight, beside the bed tomorrow, and on the floor another night without panic. If you gently move your foot, it adjusts and falls back asleep. Its closeness feels light, like a choice. A stressed dog can look different. It may need to touch you to settle. The moment you stand up, it stands up too. If you close the bedroom door, it may scratch, whine, pant, or pace. It is lying beside you, but it is not truly resting. It is monitoring you. And this is where many owners accidentally misread the signal. They see the dog pressed against them and think, "It just loves me so much." That may be partly true, but love should not require the body to stay on alert all night. A dog who trusts you should be able to choose closeness and still relax. A dog who is anxious may need closeness because distance feels unsafe. That difference matters because the solution is not the same. If your dog is relaxed, you do not need to fix the bond. You simply need to protect good sleep for both of you. But if your dog cannot rest without touching you, the answer is not to suddenly ban it from the bed and hope it learns independence overnight. That can make fear louder. It can turn the bed into a battle. It can make bedtime feel less safe, not more. A better first step is smaller. Give your dog a nearby option that still feels connected to you. A soft bed beside your bed, a blanket that smells familiar, a predictable bedtime routine, a quiet chance to choose where its body settles. Then watch the body, not the story in your head. Soft eyes, loose jaw, slow breathing. A body that can shift away and settle again. Those are different from tight paws, wide eyes, panting, pacing, whining, freezing, or jumping up every time you move. This is not about judging your dog, and it is not about judging yourself. It is about learning the difference between closeness that restores and closeness that is doing a job. Because some dogs are not sleeping beside you to be cute. They are using your body as an anchor. That does not make them bad. It does not mean you failed. It means their nervous system may be asking for help in the only language it has. And sometimes the first sign is not dramatic. It is not a bark, not a bite, not a destroyed door. It is a dog who cannot fully let go unless one part of its body is touching yours. There is another reason sleep location can mean so much. Dogs learn safety through patterns. A young puppy may sleep close because proximity means warmth, heartbeat, and protection. A newly adopted dog may sleep near the bed because the house is still unfamiliar. An older dog may change sleeping spots because a stiff joint, weaker hearing, or changes in temperature make the old place less comfortable. A confident adult dog may move around during the night simply because it is adjusting to comfort. One place is cooler, one blanket smells better, one corner feels quieter. That is why no single sleeping position has one universal meaning. A dog under the blanket is not always insecure. A dog at your feet is not always guarding you. A dog outside the room is not always rejecting you. A dog on your chest is not always showing dominance. Those explanations are too neat for a real animal. The real meaning lives in the whole pattern. What does your dog's body look like before sleep? How quickly does it settle? Can it stay relaxed when you move? Does it recover if a sound happens? Does it choose different places, or does it panic if it cannot reach you? The answer is rarely in one cute photo. It is in what repeats night after night. Think about a dog who sleeps at the end of the bed. Its body may be loose, its back may curve naturally, its paws may twitch during dreams. When you turn over, it lifts its head for a second, notices nothing important is happening, and goes back to sleep. That dog is near you, but not trapped by you. Now think about the same location with a different body state. The dog is pressed tightly against your legs. Its paws are tense. Its breathing is shallow. Every time you move, it bolts upright. If you get out of bed, it follows instantly, even when it was exhausted seconds before. Same place, different nervous system. That is the difference. This is also why the question, should dogs sleep in the bed, is often too blunt. For some homes, bed sharing works beautifully. The dog sleeps well, the owner sleeps well, everyone wakes up rested. Boundaries are clear, the dog can get down, settle elsewhere, and come back without distress. For other homes, the same habit creates poor sleep. The owner wakes up repeatedly, the dog becomes more watchful, the dog cannot settle anywhere else. The bed becomes less like a resting place and more like a control point. The bed itself is not the whole story, the body is, and your dog's body may be telling you which version you are living with. If you want a simple test, do not make it harsh. Do not suddenly shut your dog out. Do not turn bedtime into a lesson your dog is too tired to understand. Just create a choice. Place a comfortable dog bed, mat, or blanket close to your bed, not across the house, not as punishment. Close enough that your dog can still hear and smell you. Then keep your own behavior calm. No big speech, no pushing, no emotional goodbye at the edge of the mattress. If your dog chooses the bed beside you and settles, notice that. If it comes up next to you and relaxes, notice that too. If it tries the floor, comes back, shifts again, and finally sleeps, that information matters. You are not trying to force independence in one night. You are trying to learn what distance your dog's body can tolerate while still feeling safe. Over time, that distance can sometimes grow. A dog who first needs to sleep pressed against you may later rest against your leg, then on a blanket near your feet, then in a bed beside you. But that kind of change works best when it is gradual, predictable, and safe. The goal is not to make your dog less attached. The goal is to help your dog feel secure enough that attachment does not have to look like panic. There is one more thing many owners overlook. Sometimes a change in sleeping behavior is not emotional at all. If a dog who always slept on the bed suddenly chooses the floor, it may be too warm. It may be uncomfortable jumping up. It may have joint pain. It may be nauseous. It may want a cooler surface. If a dog who usually sleeps independently suddenly starts pressing against you all night, it may be anxious, but it may also be in pain, confused by age-related changes, startled by new noises, or reacting to a change in the home. New baby, new apartment, new schedule, new storm season, new medication, new discomfort in the body. Behavior is communication, but it is not always the same kind of communication. So if your dog's sleep changes suddenly, especially with limping, appetite changes, restlessness, panting, accidents, confusion, aggression, hiding, or signs of pain, do not treat it as a personality change first. Talk to your veterinarian. A behavior plan cannot replace a medical check when the body may be involved. And if your dog panics when separated from you, damages doors, hurts itself, cannot settle for long periods, or shows serious distress, a certified behavior professional can help you build a safer plan. You are not overreacting by asking for help. You are listening early. For everyday situations, though, the first step is simple enough to do tonight. Watch the transition into sleep, not just the final position, the transition. Does your dog circle once, sigh, and melt into the surface? Does it choose a spot and let the room become boring? Does it sleep with a soft face, a loose body, and breathing that slows down? Or does it keep checking you? Does it stare when you shift? Does it tense when you reach for the lamp? Does it follow you even when it is exhausted? Those clues tell you whether closeness is helping your dog rest, or whether your dog is staying close because it cannot rest without control. And this is where love becomes more practical. Love is not only letting your dog sleep wherever it wants. Love is noticing whether that place is actually helping. Sometimes love means allowing the warm little body at your feet because both of you sleep peacefully. Sometimes love means creating a nearby bed so your dog can practice resting without being glued to you. Sometimes love means calling the vet because the dog who suddenly avoids the bed may not be independent, it may be sore. Sometimes love means making the room quieter, the routine calmer, and the choice less dramatic. None of this requires you to become strict overnight. It asks you to become observant. A dog's sleep is not a moral test. It is a map of safety, comfort, habit, attachment, and sometimes stress. And once you start reading that map, you stop asking only whether your dog loves you. You start asking a better question. What does my dog's body need in order to truly rest? Tonight, when the lights go down, try this. Put one comfortable sleeping option near your bed. Let the room stay calm. Let your dog choose without turning it into a performance. Then notice 3 things. How soft is the body? How steady is the breathing? How easily can your dog settle again after you move? That is enough for tonight. Not a full training plan, not a dramatic rule change, just one clear observation. If your dog sleeps beside you with a loose body and peaceful breathing, you may be seeing trust. If your dog cannot rest unless it is touching you, you may be seeing stress asking for support. And if your dog suddenly sleeps somewhere completely different from what it used to, talk to your veterinarian. Do not explain everything with emotion. Sometimes a dog's body speaks before we understand. Tonight, do just one small thing. Observe, offer choice, stay calm. A dog does not need a perfect bed to feel safe. It needs a world predictable enough for its body to rest. And sometimes, that world begins with you turning off the light a little more slowly, placing your hand a little more gently, and letting your dog find the distance it needs. Not forced closer, not pushed away, just safe enough to sleep. Tonight, watch carefully for the moment your dog chooses where to rest, pressed against you, beside the bed, in its own bed, or in some strange little corner only it understands. If you want to remember your dog's normal, write one sentence tonight. My dog usually sleeps. Not for anyone else, just so you start noticing the map. Because sometimes, the place a dog chooses to sleep reveals what its body has been trying to manage all day.